So with that, we will move on to our facilities and strategic infrastructure with Brian Olson.
Good afternoon, commissioners. I hope not to put you to sleep after your lunch day with this presentation, so I'll try to keep it exciting. I do appreciate the time in front of you today. Always appreciate the support of this board in past projects and in the future. I do want to mention, I appreciate the leadership for Brett and Nikki and Sunny. This is a process that started months and months ago, and it seems like a process that continues to improve and because of their leadership, and I'm thankful for that. So facilities is a 24/7 operation. And weekends, evenings, there seems like there's always something happening here that we have to support this community. We are an internal services department, and because of that, we either directly or indirectly support the mission of every department or elected office in this county. We're dedicated to the health and safety of all the county staff and all the citizens that enter a county building. So I'm here to share some of our strategic goals that facilities has. That first one is our facilities master plan. We've been in the process of completing a master plan for over a year now, and we've conducted several in-depth interviews with each elected office, each department, to help determine if the current space is sufficient, but also to plan for future needs. As a part of this plan, we've also done building assessments to transparently report the condition of all of our county buildings, major county buildings, and help us to plan and prioritize maintenance based on available funding. Another goal we have is our department level strategic plan. As an internal services department, we look at the best way to serve each department and each elected office. So this is a way for us to help to focus those goals and serve those needs of our customers, the county. So we have two critical needs to request from you today. First one is a courthouse renovation. In the past year, we've completed a courthouse optimization study. That's helped us to look at the future growth needs of the county courthouse. And also, so we're here for a one-time funding request to support a plan to address some of those needs by constructing 4 new courtrooms, office spaces for magistrates and support staff, and training rooms that will support the entire courthouse. So at $4.5 million. The other critical need is garage security contract. As the downtown continues to grow, we're seeing more and more events happen, and the parking garage is being utilized more and more to support these events. So in an effort to provide more security, not just for staff, but for the public, we found that this security contract is very important. So the budget is not far from what last year was. It's just to add the courthouse renovation at $4.5 million, and then the garage security contracts for $107,000. And that's it. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to help.
Commissioner Williams.
Yes, I really appreciate and was incredibly impressed at the study that you and Mr. Waters did, as well as the vendor that we hired on the courthouse. I think it was very innovative. I think that every nook and cranny in the courthouse was examined. And I think that's really important so we can be transparent with our constituents that we don't have control when the state needs more judges here. We're the fastest growing county in the state. We are going to need more judges. And so we don't have control on that, but we've done a study to say this is what we can do now. And we have the funds to do that. And I think that that just represents fiscal responsibility and accountability that I really have appreciated seeing amongst our administrative staff, including you. So thank you.
Commissioner Vanderwerf.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear my name there. So Thank you also. I appreciate the work that you've done here, and I'll echo Commissioner Williams' comments about the strategic study with regard to the courthouse. I mean, that's a big chunk of change for that building, but the alternative is so much more expensive. And I think the findings from that study were outstanding with regard to locating a kind of some alternatives to a massive new building or adding a large annex, which would have been, tens of millions, maybe reaching up to close to 100 million. So this gets us, as I recall, several magistrates' offices into the courthouse, plus some renovations that will allow the courthouse to accommodate the growing nature of our district attorney's office in El Paso County, which is outstanding for the near term. Will be good for 5-8 years or so. We still have the long term that we'll have to figure out how to deal with. But I know that we've got a lot of initiatives to try to address that with the state legislature. So I just want to thank the team, like everybody else is doing here, for being able to do this in a much more cost-effective way to allow us to handle this for a little while longer while we figure out the longer-term strategic issue. Thank you.
And if I may, I would also, Sunny's been a key part of this project, and I appreciate her help on this, and we definitely couldn't have done it without her. And I want to shout out to Jill Travis. Jill Travis is leads my project managers, and she's just a rock star. And there's a lot of changes that happen last minute, and she's always been, right there for the moment to help us get this across the finish line. She'll be part of this project, the construction project, if it's approved, of course. And but I appreciate Jill and my entire team.
Commissioner Gonzalez.
Oh, thank you, Madam Chair. And the Commissioner has already kind of generally mentioned this. At the start of the year, we were very concerned this could be a 40, 50, $100 million issue with the needs. We have to meet the needs and the demands of the states with the judges and supporting them. And so $4.5 million is a lot of money, but originally at the start of this year, we were looking at tens of millions of dollars of potentially having to meet the needs of the state for our local community. And so, so this is actually very, very good. And again, the hard work of yourself, as much as Sonny, Brett, and the other team, we're really working on this to get us to where we are now, where $4.5 million is a lot of money, but can you imagine if we had to spend 40, 50, $100 million right now? Thank you.
I think it's a very cost-effective answer to what we're trying to achieve in that courthouse.
Vice Chair Brewer.
Thank you. I think there's a recurring theme here today. Number one is efficiency and finding really practical ways to meet the needs and expectations of our citizens. You've done that once again here with this proposal. The second is public safety. And our judicial system and the courthouse and the security of that facility is just as much a public safety concern as having sheriff's deputies on the street, because incidentally, they are transporting people from our county jail into that building, and our citizens are getting, their right to fair and speedy trial in that location. If there are not enough courtrooms or enough judges, none of that happens, and the whole public safety infrastructure net falls apart. So I appreciate that, our budget office and our facilities office understand all of the implications of all of these things that we've been seeing in the form of critical needs requests today. So thank you once again for tremendous work.
I'll just add my thanks to that. As it was alluded to by Commissioner Vanderwerf, for the knowledge of the public, we are pursuing options with the state, hopefully through the legislature, in order to be able to work on that courthouse funding. It's a concern for counties across Colorado. We know that it's become a CCI priority for us to find that. And so I think it's important not only to see the great work that's being done to meet the needs of our community right now, but the tremendous work that's going into long-term planning and working with the state to identify solutions that will benefit our community community down the road as well. And a huge shout out to our government affairs team for the work on that. That has been a tremendous a tremendous lift, and also a really important one for our community. So it's great to be able to highlight the work that's being done on our budget, but we don't just stop there. We're looking for those ways to work with other partners across the state and find solutions. But thank you for a fantastic presentation. I'm just going to ask one more time if there are any additional comments or questions. Thank you so much. I appreciate you and all of your team for all of their hard work. And so at this point, I'm just going to go ahead and call for public comment on this presentation. Is there anyone here who wishes to speak on this item? And seeing none, we have none online.